The 2025 NFL Draft running back class has some intriguing names. But when you're looking for a true workhorse back, a big, physical, every down runner who can control the game, there's one name that needs not be forgotten: Ollie Gordon II. At 6'1", 230 pounds, Gordon is a modern-day bell cow with the size, vision, sweet feet, and explosiveness to be a featured NFL back. Here's his full story, from high school phenom to college football's best back in 2023, his tough 2024 season, and why I still believe he's going to be a star at the next level. Before coming the face of Oklahoma State's offense, Gordon was a dominant high school prospect at Trinity High School in Texas. He played in a powerhouse program that consistently produced Division I talent, yet he stood above the rest as a junior and a senior, rushing for over 2,500 yards and 35 touchdowns in his final season. His blend of power, speed, and elusiveness made him one of the top running backs in the country, earning him first-team All-State honors and a 4-star rating from major recruiting services. He received offers from national powers like Texas, USC, Michigan, and Nebraska, but instead of joining a crowded backfield at a blue blood program, he chose Oklahoma State, a school with a rich history of producing elite running backs such as Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. Gordon arrived in Stillwater in 2022. Despite being a true freshman, he played every game that season. He was the team's third leading rusher, finishing with 308 yards and 2 touchdowns on 62 carries, while also flashing soft hands as a receiver, with 12 catches for 76 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. His biggest performance that season came against West Virginia, where he exploded for 136 yards on 17 carries, proving he was ready for a bigger role. Though he wasn't a focal point in the offense in his first year, his flashes of power and explosiveness foreshadowed what was to come. That breakout happened in 2023, when Gordon not only became Oklahoma State's feature back, but emerged as the best running back in the entire country. The season started slowly, as he had just 19 total carries in the first 3 games, but once he took over as the primary ball carrier, he was unstoppable. Gordon finished the year leading the nation in rushing yards with 1,732, total yards from scrimmage with 2,062, and explosive runs including 21 carries of 20 or more yards and 14 runs of at least 30 yards. He was second in the country in total touchdowns with 22 and yards after contact with 1,056, proving that his power and balance were amongst the best in college football. He averaged an outstanding 6.1 yards per carry while handling 285 rush attempts, making him the only FBS running back in the country to average over 6 yards per carry with at least 20 carries per game. And oh, by the way, this was while his team was 4th in the country in pass attempts. What made his 2023 season even more impressive was the way he dominated down the stretch. In a 3-game run against Kansas, West Virginia, and Cincinnati, Gordon became the only player over the last decade to record 250 or more scrimmage yards in 3 consecutive games. Against Kansas, he totaled 168 rushing yards and 116 receiving yards, marking the first time an Oklahoma State running back recorded a 100-yard rushing performance and a 100-yard receiving game since 1989. The following week, he obliterated West Virginia with 282 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns, including 149 yards in the fourth quarter alone, showing that his ability to wear down defenses was elite. Against Cincinnati, he followed up with 271 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, bringing his total to 821 yards and 6 touchdowns in just 3 weeks. By the end of the year, he put together 9 100-yard rushing games, 5 150-yard performances, and 2 games with over 250 yards on the ground, numbers that secured him the Doak Walker Award as the best running back in the country. He became Oklahoma State's first ever Doak Walker winner, a unanimous All-American, and finished 7th in Heisman voting, receiving more votes than any other running back in the country. Everything was in place for Gordon to replicate that dominance in 2024, but this time, opposing defenses came prepared. The Cowboys' offensive line regressed significantly, and teams game planned specifically to shut down their star running back. He faced stacked boxes on a regular basis, and Oklahoma State's offense lacked the passing efficiency needed to take pressure off of Ollie. As a result, his production dropped from his record-breaking 2023 season, and he finished with 880 yards and 4.5 yards per carry with 12 rushing touchdowns. While those numbers were still solid, they paled in comparison to what he had done the previous year. The biggest drop-off came in his explosive playability. In 2023, Gordon had 31 breakaway runs of 15 or more yards, but in 2024, that number dropped to just 8. His breakaway yardage, defined as yards gained on runs of 15 or more yards, fell from 950 yards in 2023 to just 305 yards in 2024. His yards after contact per attempt also declined, going from 3.71 in his breakout campaign to 3.25, reflecting how much harder it was for him to generate big plays behind a struggling offensive line. Despite a statistical dip in 2024, Gordon remains one of the most intriguing and complete running back prospects in this class. His blend of size, power, and ability to create yards after contact mirror a player who dominated the NFL in the mid-2000s, Larry Johnson. Much like Gordon, Johnson had a slow start to his college career. He split carries for most of his first 3 seasons at Penn State before erupting for an all-time great season in 2002. That year, Johnson ran for 2,087 yards and 20 touchdowns, averaging an absurd 7.7 yards per carry, while adding 41 receptions for 349 yards. Once in the NFL, he became one of the most dominant running backs in football, rushing for back-to-back 1,700-plus yard seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs. Gordon's game mirrors Johnson in multiple ways. Both are big body bruisers with underrated elusiveness. Both can handle 20-plus carries per game while still being effective receivers, and both thrive when given the opportunity to run downhill behind a strong offensive line. If Gordon lands in the right system that maximizes his strengths, he has a legitimate RB1 upside in the NFL. Too often, draft narratives are reactive. A player struggles for 1 year and suddenly people forget how damn dominant they were. Don't make that mistake with Ollie Gordon II. He still is the same back who dominated in 2023. And if the right team drafts him with an offensive line that allows him to play downhill, he will remind everyone why he was the best running back in college football just a year ago. The league is starving for big physical backs. Ollie Gordon II is that guy. I'm betting on the talent. I'm betting on Ollie Gordon II. Where do you rank Ollie Gordon in the 2025 NFL Draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace.